with the increased security measures, you won't be able to bring backpacks like these into the on-center. I spoke on the phone with the public affairs officer of the Hancock Air National Guard Base here in Mattydale. He says members of the 174th Attack Wing are refusing to comment on the proposed policy or speculate about the future of it or any potential changes it may bring. As winter ends and the nice weather moves in, it's time for city crews to go around and fix potholes like this one. If the pay stations aren't replaced or the software inside them upgraded, come November, you may not be able to use a credit card to pay. In a statement from the Longhouse Council, they say they won't make an announcement on the policy until the National Council makes a decision. Jim Levulis, NCC News. While many brave the cold weather tonight, in the coming month people will pay a little bit more for their holiday spirit as they drive through the light display in their vehicles. In talking with the Public Relations Director of the Salvation Army, about 30 to 40 families signed up here at the Refugee Center, with many lining up outside the doors before the 10 o'clock start time. For a full list of registration areas in Central New York, you can call 435-8300. Reporting live at the Refugee Center in Park Street in Syracuse, Jim Levulis, NCC News. 9 of the 101 guardsmen deployed in Staten Island returned home yesterday here at Hancock Air Base. Members of the 174th Attack Wing were downstate helping victims of Hurricane Sandy, which hit the East Coast last Monday. The bus stopped at the Price Chopper on Erie Boulevard around 10:30 this morning with students and community members from Rochester. Patty Farrington has been teaching for 28 years and is concerned about the future of public education in New York.
I've watched devastating cuts occur in our budget, especially over the last 4 years. 4 years ago, we were getting more aid than we are now.
The people who left this Price Chopper are headed to Albany today, hoping to change education at the state level, but in the end, it comes down to a future for their loved ones. Rosemary Rivera has a 4-year-old grandson about to start kindergarten in Rochester, and she says she is scared to death about potential cuts in the district.
I want them to teach my grandson as the whole child and not just, in one particular area. I want him to have the opportunity to learn.
We need to have cuts restored. We need to have money back where it belongs, with our kids. They're our future. And that's not just some kind of old adage. It's not just a quote. It's the truth.
At a typical fall festival, pumpkins like these are all over the place. But what you don't normally see are pumpkins being made out of glass. That's what's going on at Snake Oil Glassworks in Skeeny Atlas, a company run by husband and wife team Phil and Peg Austin.
And it's the pumpkin time of year, so we decided to make pumpkins and give people the opportunity, if they wanted to design their own. We call it pick your own pumpkin. They can pick the colors for a pumpkin, and we'll make it as they watch, and then we'll take their picture with it at the end and send it to them.
People of all ages are coming to harvest their own pumpkins, and the young ones, like Mars Hill, who stopped by with his grandmother, seem especially amazed by the glass gourds.
That's pretty cool.
People are welcome to come. As long as they remember, don't pick up anything on the floor because it can be hot, then all is good.
And at this time of year, customers are saying that this kind of pumpkin brings more smiles than this kind.
I thought it was fascinating, and not only was it wonderful to be able to have a front row view of a very talented artist, it was a way for my grandson and I to share some time together.
The team at Snake Oil Glassworks makes about 20 to 30 pumpkins a day during the weekend festival out of the colored glass that Phil calls 2,000-degree Play-Doh. Roughly 30 people gathering at the state office building in downtown Syracuse expressed their emotional pleas to prevent hydrofracking in New York State. Renee Vogelsang is the organizing director of the advocacy group Frack Action.
We haven't seen a comprehensive socioeconomic impact assessment on the impacts to our economy of New York, we can't move forward in New York, and that's why we're saying not one well. Not one well!
Many believe Governor Cuomo's administration plans to test hydrofracking wells in the southern tier. However, the state's Department of Environmental Conservation is waiting on a report from the state's health commissioner on the safety of fracking before moving forward. Syracuse Common Councilors Kathleen Joy and Jean Kessner joined the protesters to voice their disapproval of this plan.
Governor, follow the lead that is in Syracuse and in New York City. Stop hydrofracking. Don't have test wells to experiment with our health and safety.
Don't allow fracking until it's absolutely safe for people and the environment.
The DEC's deadline to issue regulations on hydrofracking is February 27th, but state law requires the regulations to be publicly released 10 days prior, moving the date up to the 17th. However, they must be published in the DEC's Environmental Notice Bulletin, which comes out every Wednesday, with the last Wednesday before the 17th being tomorrow. Even further, for publication, reports must be submitted 1 week in advance, meaning if the DEC is going to meet its deadline, it already would have had to submit the regulations. As this continues, those against hydrofracking aren't backing down.
The planet, and we pledge to resist this with our bodies and our lives. And I'm ready to go to jail and suffer whatever hardships come by in order to see